everyone. Hopefully you can see me. Welcome to today's J&J Photo Art Marketing Cafe. I am Jessica Lempin, if you don't know, so hello. Today we're going to be going over art marketing, Tower of Power, tagging versus mentioning when using Instagram and Facebook. We're going to also be reviewing the image share feature on photoartpavilion.com. We're also going to be talking about the new toggle features on the site as well for black and white and panoramic. We're going to be discussing some of the vetting processes that we're going through as far as ad agencies or marketing agencies. So we'll have a quick discussion on that. Personalizing PAP T-shirt. So that's going to be a quick little question for you. And we're going to be doing the question and answers at the end. So if you can, make sure your mics are muted. We have the chat feature open. So if you have questions throughout this meeting, definitely feel free to take a moment, type out your question. It'll definitely be addressed in just a little bit. And without further ado, I'm going to pass it along to my co-host, Joanne Henig, and she's going to be able to walk you through some of these topics that we're going to be discussing today. So Joanne, welcome.
Welcome. Hello, fine art photographers. You all look lovely today. Thanks for joining us. It's always fun to pull these meetings together. Jess and I usually softball things back and forth, or tennis rather, back and forth with ideas, and we come up with some good ones, some bombs, and this is the one we have for you this week, this month actually. So today I wanted to talk to you about the art marketing Tower of Power. I actually listened to a lot. I think I've mentioned this to you guys in the past. I listened to a lot of art marketing podcasts, read a lot, and follow a lot of our competitors on the internet, which is what we're supposed to do for not only for Photo Art Pavilion, but for you photographers, to make sure that we're giving you the best bang for your buck. And one of our competitors is very prominent in the marketplace, which is Art Storefronts, which I'm sure you guys are all familiar with. Well, they do a podcast, I believe it's once a week, and I try my very best to listen into it. And what they had last month was this a pyramid of things that artists need to be doing in order to have an active following and an active sales portfolio moving through their art career. So I kind of took their ideas, utilizing our years and years of being in the trenches with the gallery, with art photography and marketing, taking their ideas and put it together into this thing, what I call the Tower of Power. So what I want to do is I'm going to share my screen with you. And also, if I do have this Tower of Power, it's very easy graphic for you to follow. If you would like a copy of it sent to you via email, just make sure I have your email, and Jessica put the email in there for you to send along. So let me share my screen with you and show you this Tower of Power. All right. Whoop, sorry. I got these little buttons everywhere. Okay, so what we're looking to do for you is insulate your art business from economic cycles. We all just came through a very rough time with the pandemic. Art galleries were closed. There was a lot of shifting in what's going on in the art market space. And we were very fortunate to be able to bring Photo Art Pavilion to you, to the masses. But from our experience within the gallery and also now with the online space, we're able to kind of see some trends that are going on. But one of the things that has to happen within this space is the participation from the artist. It is imperative that you do your part, even if it is that 15 minutes to 30 minutes a day, or if you like to lump it all into an hour or two a week, but to do your part in getting eyeballs on your art. And how do we do that? Well, what I've done here is I've created this Tower of Power, and I'd like to make it a little smaller so we could fit it all in your eyeballs here. So let me just see. So at this point, what we're looking to do is put the attention of this tower to the base. Okay, at the base of this tower is where photographers need to keep their attention. In order to attract people into your art space and the artwork that you have available for sale, you need to bring attention to it. We at Photo Art Pavilion are doing that for you as well, but you also need to bring it to your audience individually on your own. And together, the two attention seekers, us and you, come together to bring eyeballs onto your art. So if you're looking to seek attention to your art, you must go out and attract it. If you're making attention a scarce resource in your day-to-day art marketing process, then you're probably not seeing a lot of sales. You have to do this on a daily basis. We've said this to you before, but this visual of this tower, I think, kind of speaks to it a little bit more clearly, where putting the emphasis, the wide portion of your attention needs to be at the very base of what you're doing on a day-to-day basis. The other thing that came out of me listening to that podcast and also the years of experience through Long Island Photo Gallery and Long Island Photo Gallery in the physical space, the .com space, and now with photoartpavilion.com are the three best channels for reaching art sales. So the main one is a one-on-one experience with you and the art buyer. It's a very difficult task right now with the way the pandemic has kind of shifted and shut down some of these one-on-one experiences, but it's still the best way to sell. If you have the ability to be in a one-on-one situation with a potential art buyer, I highly recommend that you move in that direction, even if it is once a month, once a quarter, however you can figure out a way to get that done. The second best channel is live video art shows. Now, this is something that I've not done for myself. It is new to the market, but it's fast becoming a way of moving art. It would be something like a Facebook Live experience where you're inviting all of your audience, your connections in to join your live art show. Or it could be from your home where you have art pieces that you can hold them up and speak to your art buying audience. And what I mean by a live art show is not a pre-recorded video of your art or a slideshow. What I mean by that is physically having art pieces in your hands, showing them on screen, either via Zoom or Facebook Live or some other way, where you can show the art piece front, back, side, tapping on glass, pushing on canvas, giving the art buyer the physical feel via the computer, via Zoom or via Facebook Live to see that experience. So live art shows are fast becoming a very good art selling channel. And of course, the third best sales channel is to have a 24/7 art storefront, which most of you on this chat today have that. So keeping those things in mind and keeping those things on your radar. I and Jessica will be experimenting with some live video art shows. So as we get more proficient in that aspect of selling art, we will be bringing those tools to you guys along the way. And of course, everything else comes into play when we're talking about marketing of our art. Direct email, social media, art fairs, anything else you can think of, having your art displayed in the local library, various galleries. Those are all great ways to get eyeballs on your art and to help boost sales. Case in point, I sent out a direct email for Mother's Day to my audience that I have in my MailChimp account. I procured a sale. Jessica did a post on Facebook for one of her canvas pieces that she has, looking to move that art piece. She procured a sale. And I know some of you that are on this call today have also done similar things. So starting from the bottom, make sure you put that attention on your art, attract, constantly nudge your audience. Look at your art channels. What are you doing to help sell your art? And then, of course, continue to do everything else. And that's really the crux of the Tower of Power, as I call it. All right. So if there's any questions, if you could just hold on to them to the end, or type it into the chat box and we'll get to that. All right, let's talk about tagging versus mentioning. I have open here on Facebook my art business page. So if you see here, I have this Photo Art Pavilion is highlighted in this particular post. And how do I do a mention? A mention is using the @ sign and calling to the actual page or company that you're looking to send a notice. Because what happens is when an artist puts a mention in a post, the owners of that page get a notification. And within that notification, we at Photo Art Pavilion see that you mentioned us, and that notifies us that you're utilizing us in your marketing efforts, and that we can then take that post and share it with our community. So it's a great back and forth to do. The other way of reaching out is a simple tag, which is using the hashtag. So what I just did here was I did hashtag Photo Art Pavilion. Now we at Photo Art Pavilion don't see these tags in a Facebook post. It's just a way of pulling up in Facebook or any other social media platform. If you type in the hashtag Photo Art Pavilion alone, singularly, in a search box, you will see all the posts that are attributed to that hashtag. So the difference between mentioning and tagging are really, really critical in the social media world. If you're looking to get our attention via Facebook, via Instagram, via any social media platform, then utilizing the @ sign at Photo Art Pavilion, grab us. This is our group, but this is our actual page. And we see you tagging us in both places. Mentioning us in both places. So please try to add that into your flow of your social media posts, and we'll share your posts into our feed. And that's kind of how that works. All right, so that's that. Going into utilizing a image share feature. So in our art portfolios, we have all of our artwork. Now, if we're looking to move these art pieces into a social media platform real quickly, we're just simply going to click on one of these icons along the bottom of any image that's on the Photo Art Pavilion website. So very simply, I probably shouldn't have closed down my account. But when you click on the image, I got funny fingers. Okay, so you see that the image that I clicked on the Facebook button, I logged in, and it jumps me right over to Facebook. Now, I could share this in my personal account, but typically what I want to do is put it on a page that I manage, which is my Joanne Henig art photography page. And what I would simply say here is something new in my online gallery, and then hit post. And that will now automatically get posted to Facebook. Now, the best part about this is that it will show up on my page as a link, correct? Whoop. There we go. And right here is the post that I just made. But what's great about this is, what do most people do when they come to a visual item on Facebook, social media, Instagram? They go and they click on that image, right? People are very curious. And what that does is it links the viewer right back over to the Photo Art Pavilion page, where all the information for that particular piece is available. So I want to highly recommend that if you're going through some pain with your marketing with regard to social media, that you make use of these links along the bottom here, because with one click, you're able to jump into Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, LinkedIn. Instagram, unfortunately, doesn't allow, it's just Instagram, it's not us. They don't allow you to do any posts unless it's coming from your cell phone or your iPad. So a little bit difficult with Instagram. All right, the next thing I want to go into is I want to go into the black and white and the panoramic image toggle on the website. So when you're uploading imagery to Photo Art Pavilion, in the back, the images, as you know, go into pending. By clicking on this pencil, I'll just quickly show you. We've added these two toggles here to help move the ability to choose more categories forward. So as you know, Photo Art Pavilion allows each art piece to be put into two select categories that represent the subject of the piece. But let's say this piece was black and white. It's also beaches and it's also coastal. If I had to choose black and white as one of the categories, I would lose one of these. So what we've done is we've moved black and white into a simple toggle, and we've also done the same with a panoramic piece. So if an image happens to be a 9:16 ratio or the 1:3 ratio, you could still put it into two categories that fit the subject of the art piece, but you can also toggle it right into panoramic and black and white. We've done this to just give a little bit more freedom to you art photographers with how your art is represented on the website. Okay, so at this point, I'd like to just go over a couple of quick little things here. So Jessica and I have been speaking with, I primarily met a woman through LinkedIn who is an art marketing person. She's located in London, England. Fabulous person. She has been in a high profile ad agency business for quite a long time and is currently stepping out on her own. So she reached out to me and was asking, a lot of questions of what do we do? How do we do it? How do our art photographers help themselves with their art marketing and so forth? And I had a lot of questions with answers that were like, well, gee, we're doing the best we can and we're following along all the different marketing ideas, and I'm listening to tons of podcasts and reading a lot of literature, but she's somebody who's been in the field for quite a long time. And the biggest question that she asked me was, who is your ideal client? And I think that varies amongst all of us. I think that we want that commercial client, which we all here at Photo Art Pavilion strive to try and bring that in. We like to sell more than one piece at a time. 20 to 30 is always a good idea for us. So that for us at Photo Art Pavilion is our ideal client. Is that your ideal client? So we've been going back and forth with, how do we identify who our art buyers should be? And I think that what I'd like to do, and I don't need an answer from you guys today, but what I'd like to be able to do is gauge if an ad agency service is something that collectively as a group we may be interested in. All right, and I don't need the answer now, but it's something that I'd like you to think about, because if Jessica and I can procure a professional ad agency to work with all of us in a collective fashion and help us really define our audience and help get the message out to those art buyers and those art collectors in a seamless fashion without lots of hiccups, then I think we have to kind of consider what would be the cost of doing that and how do we all share in the cost of doing that. Now, not all of you might be interested in such a high-powered setup for marketing, but if you are, get back to us between now and our next marketing meeting. I think we'll follow up with it with a Q&A, possibly a survey, and see if we can gauge some interest in that. And I do want to get back to my friend her name is Claire, She's in London, England. As I said, I do want to get back to her and see what we could do to try and come up with a formula for success for all of us. Because all of you say this to me, I hate marketing. Well, I don't love it either. But Jessica said to me the other day when we were kind of reviewing this meeting, yeah, we all hate marketing, but we love the result that comes from marketing. We love it when we make a sale, and we love it when we see money coming back into the bank, and we love it when we see our efforts bear some fruit. So let's kind of think about how we could use that tower of power, possibly using Claire in London, and all putting all our collective efforts together to try and advance the art marketing, because the industry is changing. It's fast changing, and I'd like to see us stay ahead of the curve. I feel like we are ahead of the curve, but I want to remain ahead of the curve, and I want all of us to kind of be marching at in the same beat. Okay. All right. Last but not least, for me, we have personalized Photo Art Pavilion T-shirts. I don't know if any of you have received them yet, but they come with your name. So it'll be Joanne Henig, fine art photographer on the front, and on the back, the Photo Art Pavilion logo. It's a cool thing. Yes, it's a walking billboard, but we love that. That's our way of doing some marketing. And so if you are interested if you're a artist that's part of the Photo Art Pavilion site, the t-shirt for you is free. It's our gift to you. It's our way of saying thank you for being a part of this awesome program that we're running for you. So if you have not received your t-shirt yet, or if you have not given me your size, please send me an email and I'll get that out, because I have an order that's going to be going out, I think by Friday. So I'll make sure you get on the bandwagon with that one. All right, so without further adu, in our last 10 minutes, I'd like to open up the floor to you art photographers to throw some Q&A at us. And well, you throw the Q and we'll throw the A. How's that? Anybody have any questions?
Yes, I do.
Hi,
Is that
Sharon.
okay?
Yes.
Hi.
Hi, how
So
are you?
I'm very good. Thank you. Thank
Good.
God, knock on wood. And I hope everybody else is well as well. So I have two questions, actually. One has to do with signed prints. So if one of my buyers buys a print through the online, it's obviously not going to have a signature. And I find that if I market a lot to the people who I know, like personally, like on my own Facebook page and so on, so people who are friends, like actual friends, will ask me, oh, but it's you, I want it signed. So that's question. That's just the thought number one about how, is there any kind of integration that you could see coming down the pike where a sign, and I think somebody might have asked you this in the past, but I have another question also. Are there any like metrics or data that can be shared when, like, how many people visit your storefront, or how many views there are within your storefront's individual photos? So for example, like a monthly email saying, this is your report, like 10 people visited your, flowers on the lake or something, or 35 visited your homepage or something. I mean, I think it's good information to see that you're at least getting some traction with people going to the site, as well as, what if there's like 25 views of one particular photo and almost none on any other? It gives you the sense that, oh, maybe this is a popular photo and I should use this to promote more.
Okay, I could definitely answer
But
that.
that's a mouthful, sorry.
No, it's all good. The signed photos, we do not do that now. What it does is slows down the process for
Right.
going from production to delivery. But I mean, I just sold an art piece off of my email, my Mother's Day email, and the person was a friend, and they said, well, of course, sign it. And I said, it's impossible. I said, because by the time I have it printed, delivered to me, sign it, get it off to my framer, blah, 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 blah. I said, you're not going to have it in time for Mother's Day. And it's a gift for his wife. So that's the reason why we don't do signed pieces.
Right.
But that's not to say that if there's a special request, and we've done this in the past, if there's a special request where the customer really, really wants an art piece signed, then let's talk about it. Let's not say no definitively, but at the same point, let's understand that the process is going to get delayed by at least a week to 10 days as far
Mhm.
as from order placed to order
Mhm.
delivered. Because what will end up happening, Sharon, is we will have to have the print produced, shipped to you for signature. Then you will have to ship it back to
Right,
us or directly to our framer. That's
right,
if it's
okay.
a print. If it's a canvas, then it's another, then it's shipping the canvas to you for signature, then you repackaging it and shipping it out to the customer. So that is the reason for non-signed. So this website, Photo Art Pavilion, was designed for open series work primarily. We get this
Mhm.
question a lot. How do I get my artwork signed? It's a bit of a challenge. And right now we just haven't come up with an answer to that.
Okay,
So
I figured, I knew it was
yeah,
gonna be complicated and all that. I
but
just was wondering how many times people or other of your
it
photographers
happens.
individually get that
Happened to me.
request and,
Happened to me last week.
yeah, right.
You know, and they're in Florida. I'm in New York, and you know things are going, you know, in transit from here, from the print to the framer to
Mhm, mhm.
back to Florida. You know, it really would have slowed things down. So, you know, what he said to me, he says, "Well, that's okay. At least then you just have to come to Florida and sign it when it arrives." And I said, "Sure, no problem."
There is
Yeah.
one like kind of way to do that. It's not the best, but what I've done in the past is if you scan a signature
Yep.
and you create a, you create the image and you embed it on the file. It's not the same as having a handwritten signature, but you can actually have the signature embedded in the piece when it's produced.
We could do that. Let us think about that, Tony, because what we don't want is because your original file that comes up, that loads up onto the server, would have to be void of any signatures, any digital signatures, because then it becomes your signature with the watermark and it becomes a little hairy looking. So we could play that game. I
I,
mean,
I don't know
yeah,
if you can look at Bay Photos doing that right now. So
they,
you create a digital file of your signature and you send it to them because of course
so
it
so
depends on
we would
the size.
keep it on
So,
file. We would keep
right.
your digital signature on file. I have
Yeah.
no problem with that.
And then because it depends on the size of the print too. I mean, you
Right,
don't, yeah, it can be cropped off if somebody takes, a different size or whatever. So
right,
it has to be based on the size, and then the signature is embedded in
Mm,
and it's
right.
created.
Well, we do all the digital production here. You know, it's
Mhm.
every order flows through our offices here. So it would be something that we could manage for sure, because I review every file before it goes off for printing. So it may be something that we could do. Maybe we could do, well, I like it. I like the idea. I like the idea of a digital signature. And, you know, I felt like I really wanted to give a signed piece to my friend's wife as, you know, for his Mother's Day gift. But, you know, again, we were hampered by time, but a digital signature might be the way to go. So let me write that down and we will discuss amongst ourselves.
I would also like to point out that Tony is wearing our Photo Art Pavilion
As a guy.
Tony,
There you go.
you gotta show it off. Excellent. There you
Yeah,
go.
woohoo!
It looks good on you.
I meant to put it on me, but I completely forgot about it till you mentioned
Excellent, Tony. Good
Right,
job.
and then I guess my other question about the possible metrics
Yes,
about,
the metrics.
how
So-
many views and visitors and so
So
forth.
we did install on our internet files a software called Monster Insights, and we have a connection with this company called DIB, DIIB, which we are now getting some metrics coming through. It's been about 30 days of how many page views the site is receiving, how many unique users are coming through the site, and I'm pretty impressed with the numbers right now. I understand you're looking to get data on which specific pages are receiving attention. For instance, whether it be your art storefront page, or if it's one specific image within your storefront. So I know that data is coming through, and I guess the best way for us to deliver that is for us to review it. So at the end of the month, we review all the art sales, correct? So we could add to our processes part of that end of month summary, some of that data, coming back to you, the artists, that we could either post in an email that goes just to the artists on the website, and we could start to filter that information off to you.
Mhm.
Joanne, I'm going to say that perhaps we could even talk to our development team and see if there's a way we can have this data kind of read within the storefront in the business center.
Sure.
So that'll be something that we can discuss further with our team, and we'll see what we can come up with for our artists.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's good information to have. I agree.
It's absolutely great information to have. Absolutely. So yes, we're working on that. As I said, actually, Sharon, I believe you asked the question maybe a month or two ago,
I did.
and and it prompted me to get this software installed on the server to start picking out, fine tuning the data that's coming through. So
Mhm.
it's there,
Because
and I think it would be great, as Jessica said, if there were in your business center panel where you'd be able to just click a button and see
oh, that's great.
what's happening. So we,
That-
there's a lot that we've been asking our developers.
That's great.
They're slowly delivering, which is awesome. It's awesome.
We have a long list to provide to you guys, and we're always looking to enhance the experience.
No,
for
that I think that would
artists and
be
buyers.
so interesting for every photographer to see, who's looking, what they're looking at, how many people are looking. I think it's also encouraging, because if you're, doing like a really full blast, like marketing for days, your blood, sweat, and tears are going into the marketing. And then you see, oh, wow, like last month, there was like maybe 2 people who even, looked at my storefront or whatever. And now all of a sudden, 50 came through. I mean,
Right.
and if it's not, then maybe you have to question, okay, what am I doing wrong in my marketing? So I
Right.
think on all levels, image, interest, and all that, it's really would be great.
Right. And make sure, I'm going to go back to that silly little tool called Linktree, but make sure you're streamlining your audience's flow through the internet to find you. All right. I find that it's become a very helpful tool where I'm using the same link on all my social media platform, all my profiles. So people are coming through. If they're going to my main profile on Instagram, on Facebook, on Twitter, and wherever else I am, LinkedIn, that Linktree button takes people directly to all the places I want them to travel to find me. If I have a promotion, if I have a coupon, if I have all the good things about my photography is coming through Linktree. So just kind of think about how you're pushing your audience through the process of interacting with you. All right, just think about that, because if it's a herky-jerky process, even if you're using other platforms, if you're not exclusive to Photo Art Pavilion, if you're using Pickfair or whatever, you could have all of that in your link tree of links, if you will. But the consumer or the person that you're marketing to is going to come to that link tree and make some decisions on where you want them to go, and based on how you have that hierarchy of links set up in your link tree. So just think about that, because I know a lot of you are doing some great marketing. But the other point, I'm going to go back to the very beginning of this meeting where I talk about tagging versus mentioning. Again, if we see that you're mentioning us, we get a notification in our social media account that says so-and-so Sharon mentioned you in their post. That prompts us to do more with your post, as opposed to just your audience seeing it. Then it becomes your audience plus our audience, and then additional comments coming through on our post that we can interact with. Okay, so just try to, again, this is a process that most of you are not so familiar with in the marketing side of life. We don't love it. We know it's a tad time consuming, but going back to that tower of power, it's necessary to do it every day, to stay connected to your audience on a daily basis as best you can. I mean, I fall down too, trust me. I do. So, all right. Any other questions coming through? Marisa, let me unmute you. Where are you? Unmute. Hello.
Hi, so I have a question, and it has to do with social media marketing and all that stuff.
That's
since I
good, because
spoke-
that's what this meeting's about.
Well, I know. And I'm such a, a dunce when it comes to this. But if we mention you with an @Photo Art Pavilion, is that something that is clickable? And then if they click it,
Yes.
but then if let's say we're trying to promote our page,
Mhm.
right? But if they click @Photo Art Pavilion inadvertently, it's going to go to the main page, right?
It will go to the page, but understand that you don't have to put it in the main body of your commentary.
Okay.
You know how, a lot of you are doing this where you have all of these tags going all the way down, like this long. You could just
Okay.
shove it underneath there somewhere. Doesn't have to be a prominent feature of your post.
Okay.
All right. So I only showed you what I showed you just because it was easy for me to insert it right there. But yeah, inadvertently. But the other thing too is when we see that you mention us, we're going to duplicate your post in our feed. So if they happen to jump over to the Photo Art Pavilion page, they're going to see a repeat of your post in our feed. You follow?
Yeah. Oh, no. Yeah. That
Yeah,
I
so they're still going to be able to get back to you. In fact, what we're doing on Instagram is if you mention us,
Mhm.
we add you, we share you into our stories, and then we have a highlight for you as well. So we've got a bunch of highlights on the Photo Art Pavilion Instagram page for any of the photographers that are promoting a specific piece.
Mhm.
We've created, let's say, a Marisa Complay highlight button on the bottom of our main page, where if you click on that, anytime that we've put you into our stories,
Mhm.
we've also put you into a highlight,
Hmm.
and those click-throughs come through, and it's your tag is on there. We always repeat your tag going back, so if you're mentioning @Photo Art Pavilion, we're mentioning whatever your is. Some of you have easy ats and others don't. So we do go back and forth with this, because again, what that does is just keeps that post in that feed, in that main feed, and the algorithms that these social media companies use when they see interaction between two different users, and then they see likes over here and likes over here. They see that interaction. You ever see those mentions from Facebook or Instagram that this post is doing better than 90% of your other posts or whatever? That's kind of the result of us working back and forth, trying to push that post. All right. So yes, they can click over to us, but when they do, they're going to find you in our feed.
Now you said some of us have easy ats and some don't. What is that
Well, my is @photogdesigner, whatever. That's my Instagram . My Facebook is my name. It just was something that I had done years and years ago. So it's not necessarily @Joanne Henig
Okay.
always. So whatever your is, whatever you chose to be your in your social media world, that's what we will use. That's what we will pick up and utilize to reciprocate the share.
So then those should be along with our direct link to the website. that we
Correct.
have.
Right.
Are you, because I haven't done this, then we should also have the underneath
No,
there.
we'll see it. We'll see it, because once you mention us once you mention @Photo Art Pavilion, we
Mhm.
get a notification that says @Marisa Complay or whatever your is mentioned you in a post. Then we click on that, we go and we look at it, and then we share it and we spread it further.
So we don't have to do that. All we really need in our post is our link
Right.
and your
Right. So yeah, so if you're utilizing the share buttons that I demonstrated to you earlier that are on the website, you should be able to jump pretty quickly through the process of getting this particular piece on Facebook, on Twitter, wherever the only other place that we don't have a clear channel for sharing is Instagram. And again, that's not on us, that's on Instagram. They're very funny in how they allow people to post onto their platform.
Okay.
Okay?
Right, you want me to share my little hack there for getting to your own gallery?
Yes,
on,
please,
uh,
Tony.
Photo Art Pavilion?
Yes.
Well, so there's two ways, right? There's, you can create a tiny URL with the link to your page. But what I did is I set up a separate,
You froze.
I froze. I set up a separate URL and I redirect it right to that location. So if you go into agfineart.pix, it takes you right into my gallery on Photo Art Pavilion.
Yeah, I saw you do that, and that's great. And that, for me, I do the same thing. I have joannehenigphotography.com, which was my website that I took down, but I kept the domain, the URL, and that jumps right over to my main page on Photo Art Pavilion. So very similar. So yeah, if you're in the market of, you want to go out and purchase a really short and catchy .com name or a .pic or a .whatever, you could utilize that. You can redirect it directly to your Photo Art Pavilion storefront. And that's a great tool. Tiny URL is another great tool.
It works.
Yeah, it works because I actually, Tony, it's my job. So I saw it and I tested it and it works. I'm like, what is he doing?
Sorry.
No, it's perfect. I love it. I actually wanted to mention it to you. I saw it the other day. So it's great. Okay, do we have any other questions going once, going twice, going 3 times, or 4? Everybody's doing well? All right, well, if you have any questions, please shoot us an email, hello@photoartpavilion.com. And if you are in need of receipt of a t-shirt and you've not given me your sizes yet, please shoot me an email as well. I have an order going out with the new artists that we've onboarded and anybody else who we've missed along the way. All right.
I have one question.
Yes,
I'm gonna
Tony.
be there for a while. I want to come and drop my butterflies off.
Yes, we will be here today.
All right, I'll see you in a little bit then.
All right, Tony. All right, guys. Thank you so much for showing up. We do appreciate you being with us. Thank you very much.
Bye,
Thank
everyone.
you.
Thank you
Bye
for
now.
Appreciate
showing.
it. Thank
Bye.
you. Bye-bye.